Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
The sun dipped behind the smog-choked horizon of New York City, casting a dull orange glow against the fractured steel and concrete of a bygone era. Jack sat on the rooftop of his dilapidated apartment building, staring at the polluted skyline that had once sparkled with potential. The world around him pulsed with chaos. Sirens wailed in the distance, screens displayed an endless loop of political scandals, and the air was thick with the acrid scent of exhaust. It all felt suffocating, like a heavy shroud draped over his soul. He was a man adrift, a mere echo of the energetic young boy he once was, the boy who had dreamed of exploration among the stars. Life had not been kind. The daily grind pushed him further into apathy. Jack's dreams of adventure felt like foolish fantasies, mere figments of an imagination imprisoned by a bleak reality. Yet, beneath this layer of cynicism, a spark flickered. He longed for escape, an opportunity to break free from Earth's relentless grasp. One evening, as he sifted through the humdrum of social media, a pulsating advertisement caught his eye. A shimmering portal opened, revealing an image of lush alien landscapes, vibrant flora, and two stunning alien women, their radiant skins glistening in the alien sun. The tagline read boldly, "Earth sucks? Move out and get a house, and two alien babes on arrival." Realizing he could fulfill a lifelong dream, Jack's heart raced as he clicked the link. What lay behind a digital spark of hope? A bold new frontier? The ad claimed that intergalactic real estate was no longer a fantasy, that anyone could step into the future and build their life in a realm free from Earth's burdens. Excitement surged through him, washing away the grime of despair. He found himself deeply absorbed, reading about a planet called Xylaris, a place where two distinct alien races thrived. The warmth of the local inhabitants, the Eltari and the Vashur, and their willingness to embrace new cultures drew him in, igniting that dormant spark into a roaring flame. He was particularly captivated by two representatives, Theodore, a charming Eltari with a flair for creativity, and Charlotte, a fierce Vashur warrior with an ethereal beauty. Jack realized that this could be his chance, an opportunity to reinvent himself. But doubts crept in. Was it all too good to be true? Out of habit, he looked into the risks, alien politics, cultural clashes, even the unknown dangers of space travel. But what terrified him more was remaining stagnant, living a life shrouded in monotony. After nights filled with contemplation, courage finally won the internal battle. "I'm out of here," he whispered to the empty sky, a determined resolve filling his voice. Enveloped by the throaty hum of engines and dreams, Jack took a leap of faith, sending his information to claim a slice of this otherworldly paradise. In the following weeks, excitement morphed into a whirlwind of preparations for an adventure that would change everything. Jack packed his possessions, leaving behind echoes of his former life, ready to embrace the unknown. Tonight marked the last night he would breathe the recycled air of Earth. Tomorrow, he would transcend it all. The following day, Jack barely slept. His excitement morphed into a whirlwind of anticipation as he prepared for the journey. He made his way to the designated launch pad, a sprawling complex buzzed with activity. People hurried in and out, carrying odd-shaped bags filled with gadgets and personal belongings. His heart raced as he joined the queue to board the sleek, silver spacecraft, its surface shimmering like a promise. Inside, the vessel was like nothing he had ever seen. The cockpit appeared to be a nest of buttons and screens, while the interior walls pulsed with a soft, bioluminescent glow. Passengers were a motley crew of various races, each unique in their appearance and quirks. Jack could feel the thrill of interspecies camaraderie as he took a seat next to a tall, angular Eltari who introduced himself as Kai. He wore a wide smile, his skin shifting colors in response to his emotions. "First time traveling?" Kai asked, his voice melodic, accentuated by the soft hum of the ship. "Yeah," Jack replied, a mixture of nerves and excitement tingling in his stomach. "I'm heading to Xylaris." Kai's eyes sparkled. "You're in for a treat. You'll love it there. Just be ready for the cultural differences. It's a wild ride." As the engines roared to life and the vessel jolted upward, Jack felt a surge of exhilaration. Gravity was no longer a limitation. They soared into the cosmos, Earth shrinking beneath them. He pressed his face against the window, watching as the dark vacuum of space enveloped the familiar blue sphere. The vastness stirred something within him. He was finally breaking free. During the flight, Jack absorbed knowledge about Xylaris. The ship's screens displayed vibrant images of lush landscapes, from sprawling crystal forests to oceans that sparkled like sapphires. He learned about the two dominant races, the graceful Eltari, known for their artistry and wisdom, and the fierce Vasher, celebrated for their bravery and strength in battle. As they cruised through the star-speckled void, Jack struck up conversations with other passengers, each sharing stories of their homeworlds. He felt a warmth blossoming in his chest, realizing he was joining a tapestry of intergalactic life that transcended the borders he once thought confined him. After what felt like both moments and eternities, the ship cleared the final portal of space and entered the gravitational pull of Xylaris. The anticipation grew thick in the air as the crew announced their descent. "Prepare for landing," came the voice over the intercom. Jack's heart raced. He caught sight of the planet below, rolling hills of vibrant green, oceans of shimmering blue, and sprawling cities that gleamed under the sun. The sight was nothing short of magical. The craft landed smoothly in a bustling spaceport, filled with an exhilarating blend of life and color. The moment the hatch opened, a sweet breeze filled Jack's lungs, scented with exotic flowers and the faint tang of salt from nearby seas. He stepped out cautiously, the solid ground beneath his feet feeling surreal. "Welcome, traveler," a voice called out. Jack turned to see Theodore, a striking Eltari with flowing golden hair and bright eyes that glinted like polished gems. He radiated warmth, extending his hand in greeting. "I'm here to make sure your arrival is welcoming." "Jack," he replied, shaking Theodore's hand. "This is incredible. Come, there is much to see." Theodore gestured, leading Jack through the vibrant marketplace, filled with colorful stalls. Alien vendors called out, displaying exotic foods, crafts, and unique trinkets. Jack marveled at how different everything was: the joyful laughter of the locals, the surreal colors of the fruits, and the artistic flair evident in every corner. They strolled past a large fountain where children played and splashed in the water, laughter echoing. Jack felt himself drawn into the joy of the place, overcoming any lingering nerves. "This place is like a dream," he said, awestruck. Theodore smiled, his expression filled with pride. "It is not just a place, it is a community. You will find love and acceptance here, should you open your heart." Just then, another striking figure approached them. It was Charlotte, a fierce Vasher warrior with a mane of dark hair flowing like liquid night down her back. Her powerful gait and piercing gaze contrasted with Theodore's graceful aura. Despite her intimidating presence, there was a captivating beauty that radiated from her. "New recruit?" she asked, eyeing Jack with a mixture of curiosity and challenge. "Just arrived," Jack replied, a nervous smile on his face. "Welcome to Xylaris," she said, her voice a rich, low thrum. "The adventure begins now." With both Theodore and Charlotte by his side, Jack felt a surge of hope. This was more than just an escape. It was a new beginning filled with promise, where he could forge connections and discover parts of himself he never knew existed. The vibrant marketplace buzzed with life as Jack strolled beside Theodore and Charlotte. Every sense was overwhelmed by the colors, sounds, and scents that wrapped around him like a warm embrace. Stalls showcased exotic fruits that glowed like sunlight captured in a sphere, their aromas teasing his senses with promises of flavors untasted. Eltari artists painted intricate murals that depicted the history of Xylaris, while Vasher blacksmiths demonstrated their skill, forging weapons that whispered of ancient battles and heroic deeds. "Xylaris is a blend of our two peoples," Theodore explained as they walked. "The Eltari prioritize art, community, and understanding. The Vasher focus on strength, honor, and unity through resilience. Together, we create a harmonious balance." Charlotte, keeping pace, added with a smile, "We push each other to grow, challenge each other's views, and that's what makes us unique. You'll find both races fascinating, but don't be surprised if our methods sometimes clash." As Jack listened, He became acutely aware of the dynamic between his two companions. Theodore embodied gentleness, drawing people in with a serene nature, while Charlotte radiated a fierce energy that demanded respect. It was a juxtaposition that intrigued him and yet filled him with curiosity about how their cultures intertwined. Their exploration led them to a picturesque pond adorned with vibrant flowers, where Eltari children laughed and played. "Follow me." Theodore beckoned, leading Jack to a shaded area where elders sat, weaving beautiful tapestries and sharing stories of old. Jack was captivated by the tales, where ancient heroes faced mythical beasts, and the legends grew richer with each word. "May I?" Jack asked, gesturing to an empty space beside an elder who grinned widely, motioning for him to join. Sitting down, he listened intently as the elder spoke of the land of stars, where they believed the souls of lost heroes watched over Xylaris. "See how the past shapes our present," Theodore murmured, leaning closer to Jack. "History is revered here. It connects us all." As they later wandered toward a Vasher training ground, the atmosphere shifted. Here, the air crackled with energy as warriors sparred fiercely, their grunts echoing against the rocky arena. Charlotte stood tall, her eyes gleaming with pride at her people's strength. "You see," she explained, "the Vasher believe that through strength and discipline, we can protect what we hold dear. It's not just about fighting. It's about honor and respect for our craftsmanship." One warrior caught her eye, a towering figure with muscles honed from countless battles. He paused mid-spar and shouted a challenge. "A friendly duel, Charlotte. Show them what it means to be Vasher." She smirked, her competitive spirit ignited. "I'll show them how it's done." With that, she stepped into the arena, the atmosphere charged with anticipation. Jack watched as Charlotte faced off against her opponent, her movements fluid and powerful. The crowd cheered, their voices harmonizing in support as the duel commenced. He felt a swirl of admiration and respect for her, realizing that her fierce demeanor paired beautifully with her compassion from earlier. As the battle thrived, Jack's thoughts drifted between moments of awe and the realization that he was in a land far removed from the troubles of Earth. He could be anyone here, an adventurer, a lover, a friend. "Impressive, isn't she?" Theodore's voice broke through his reverie. Jack nodded, captivated not just by Charlotte's prowess, but by her passion. The Vasher people respect strength above all, and Charlotte embodies the spirit of our unity. After a spectacular victory, Charlotte returned to their side, breathing heavily but beaming with pride. "That's what I call a spirited welcome," she chuckled, wiping sweat from her brow. Jack couldn't help but laugh along, feeling the authenticity of her joy. "You were incredible out there." He grinned, genuinely impressed. "Thank you," Charlotte said, her eyes twinkling. "Just a taste of what Xylaris offers. The adventure is ours to make." Their exploration continued, leading them through lush forests that bordered the beach. Jack marveled at how the shimmering waves kissed the golden sands, teeming with life. Theodore shared stories of the legends embedded in the waters, how every wave whispered secrets of love. As they sat on the shore, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and pink, Jack reflected on the warmth of this newfound camaraderie. The contrasts he observed between Theodore and Charlotte felt like a merge of two worlds, breeding harmony amidst differences. "Tell me, Jack," Theodore asked, his gaze steady, "what do you hope to find here in Xylaris?" With the ocean's gentle whispers surrounding him, Jack took a breath, feeling free for perhaps the first time in years. "I want to find myself, to explore my potential, to build connections that matter. I long for adventure, yes, but more than that, I want to belong." Charlotte nodded, her expression softer than before. "You're already on the right path. Here, you'll discover bonds that transcend boundaries. Embrace it, and you'll never regret it." In that moment, Jack felt a profound connection forming between them, a shared understanding of vulnerability and hope. With his heart racing in anticipation, he realized that his journey in Xylaris was just beginning, and the promise of adventure intertwined with the allure of personal discovery settled warmly within him. The more Jack explored Xylaris, the deeper he fell into its spell. Each day brought new experiences, but it was Theodore and Charlotte who made each moment unforgettable. They became his guides, each illuminating different facets of the two vastly different cultures. During the evenings, they would gather by the shore, sharing stories from their homes. Jack regaled them with tales of Earth, describing towering skyscrapers and bustling cities, while Theodore painted vivid images of serene moonlit gatherings with the Altari, where art flowed like a river, and the air was filled with melodious laughter. Meanwhile, Charlotte shared epic tales of heroic battles and the strength of her ancestors, her enthusiasm infectious as she described the rituals that celebrated their victories. But beneath the camaraderie lingered a current of tension. Jack noted the way Theodore's gaze lingered on Charlotte, his admiration evident in the gentleness of his words. Likewise, he couldn't deny the magnetic chemistry he felt towards both of them. With each shared adventure, Jack found himself drawn to Charlotte's fiery spirit and Theodore's calming presence, creating a whirlwind of emotions he struggled to navigate. It was during one evening gathered around a bonfire, the scent of grilled alien delicacies wafting through the air, that the energy shifted. As the sun dipped beyond the horizon, casting hues of violet across the sky, Jack caught Charlotte's gaze, and the playful banter turned introspective. "The concept of love is different among our races," Theodore began, breaking the silence as he skewered a piece of shimmering fish on a stick. "For the Altari, it is an art, a form of expression that transcends physicality. We believe in carving memories together." Charlotte chimed in, her expression serious. "For the Vasher, love is forged in battles and shared struggles. It's about loyalty, standing side by side against adversities. It deepens through dedication and sacrifice." Jack leaned forward, intrigued. "What about mating customs? How do they differ?" Theodore exchanged glances with Charlotte, a hint of tension hanging in the air. With the Altari, mating is celebrated through elaborate ceremonies, artistic expressions of love. It's about creating a bond that is both emotional and physical, two becoming one in spirit and art. "While for the Vasher," Charlotte added, her lips curving into a smirk, "we mate in recognition of strength and unity. It's an expression of trust. We prove ourselves capable and worthy before uniting with our partners." Jack felt a stirring within him, a raw energy that resonated in the space between them. Each culture offered a glimpse into how deep connections were formed, but it was their differences that drew him in further. What would it be like to experience intimacy with either of them, to embrace these unique customs? Would you ever consider mixing customs? Jack ventured, his voice tentative. Charlotte exchanged a glance with Theodore, her expression thoughtful. "There may be value in exploring new traditions," she replied slowly. "Human customs could blend well with ours. Perhaps Earth has something to teach us too. Or something to learn," Theodore added, his eyes shimmering with intrigue. "The beauty of relationships is their ability to adapt and grow." Suddenly, the fire cracked, and a sparkle of stars appeared overhead, illuminating their faces with ethereal light. Jack's mind raced. Each encounter with Theodore and Charlotte was charged with potential, a fusion of interests and the thrill of the unknown. As the days turned to weeks, Jack found himself developing a bond with each of them that was as intense as it was diverse. With Theodore, he experienced the calming, harmonious side of affection, sharing moments of laughter, creativity, and art. They began painting together, Jack uncovering a talent he had long buried, inspired by the Altari's passion for beauty. With Charlotte, their relationship was electric. She pushed him to embrace the fierce side of himself, to face challenges head-on. They engaged in sparring sessions, with Charlotte's laughter ringing through the air every time she bested him. He admired her strength, but was also captivated by her deeper emotions that resided beneath her warrior facade. One evening, following a grueling spar, they collapsed on the grass, panting, their hearts racing not just from exertion, but from the thrill of the moment. "You've improved, Jack," Charlotte said, propping herself up on one elbow, her dark hair falling loosely around her face. "You're becoming quite the fighter." Jack chuckled, catching his breath. "I can't keep up with you, but I'm trying." Their eyes locked, and he felt his heart pound. There was a shift, a moment suspended in time as they found themselves immersed in each other's gaze. Out of nowhere, Theodore ambled over, sensing the energy crackling in the air. "Care for a celebration?" he asked, breaking the spell. He held a tray of colorful cupcakes that emitted enticing scents. "Absolutely," Jack replied, relief flooding in at the interruption, attention dissipating. As they sat beneath the stars, enjoying the delicacies, Jack studied the two of them. So different yet so complementary. He cherished the idea of melding customs, of creating a new experience, one that would include the best of their worlds and hearts. That night, as Jack lay in bed, his mind whirled with thoughts of Theodore and Charlotte. He ached to explore the bounds of intimacy, to discover how love and passion could intertwine among three beings of different worlds. Yet, the fear of shattering this delicate balance flickered in the back of his mind, creating a tension he couldn't shake. That realization hung heavily. The adventure he craved was about not just thriving in Xylaris, but navigating the intricate dance of relationships that pulsed within the heart of the universe. As the sounds of the alien night wrapped around him, Jack couldn't help but wonder what paths lay ahead, how his journey would unfold beneath the stars of this vibrant world. The days faded into weeks, with Jack increasingly immersed in the life of Xylaris, yet the warm embrace of adventure was tempered by an undercurrent of tension. Under the surface, a challenge loomed, one that would test the bonds he was forging with Theodore and Charlotte. One evening, as twilight painted the sky in shades of indigo, tension flared during a large cultural festival held in the heart of the city. The occasion was meant to unite the Altari and Vasher in celebration of peace. Yet, Jack soon sensed an unspoken rivalry brewing beneath the festivities. The echo of drums and vivid colors danced around him, but whispers of discontent filled the air. "Can you feel it?" Jack asked Theodore, who stood beside him, gazing at the bustling crowd. "Yes," Theodore replied, his brow furrowed. "There's an undercurrent of dissent. Some are unhappy with our mingling, with the idea of interspecies relationships, particularly when it comes to mating customs." Jack's heart raced. He had witnessed the beautiful tapestry of Altari and Vasher relationships, but now it was being threatened by reluctance from both communities. "What do you mean?" he probed. "There are traditionalists on both sides," Theodore explained. "They believe our customs should remain pure, that welcoming outsiders, particularly humans, could dilute our cultures." Charlotte approached, her expression fierce, her Vasher pride shining through. "I heard the same sentiments. They believe that true love and trust cannot transcend species. They want to challenge that notion." Jack felt a pang of dread as the reality of the situation sank in. Their budding friendships and emotions were at risk. "What can we do?" he asked desperately. Charlotte's eyes glinted with determination. "We need to show them that love can flourish across cultures, that our customs can blend, but it will require unity, an unprecedented display of acceptance." The festival raged, but the tension between the two races bubbled beneath the surface. Jack, Theodore, and Charlotte needed to prove that their connection could transcend tradition. And so, they decided to host a special ceremony that would symbolize the merging of their customs, a display of their union that showcased love against the backdrop of rivalry. As preparations began, Jack felt equal parts exhilarated and terrified. He was eager to commit to this unique bond, but also feared what the implications might hold for all three of them. Would the ceremony unite them in love, or place them at odds with both communities? The day of the ceremony arrived, and the atmosphere crackled with anticipation. Arranged near the shimmering waters of the pond where they first met, the three stood together, a united front. Art was strewn around them, a blend of Altari tapestries and Vasher weaponry, representing both cultures' strengths and beauty. "Together, we create a new narrative," Theodore spoke, his voice resonating with passion. "A love that merges art and strength, beauty and resilience, an acceptance that we all deserve." The crowd gathered, murmurs of skepticism rippling through the audience, yet curiosity glimmered amid their doubts. "Jack," Charlotte turned to him, a fierce glint in her eye. "We will demonstrate the strength of our bond. Prepare yourself for a melding of customs." Over the next hour, Jack, Theodore, and Charlotte engaged in symbolic rituals that showcased their nation's values. They painted each other's skin with unique patterns, merging the artistry of the Altari with the tribal markings of the Vasher. Laughter transformed doubt into intrigue as they danced to a blend of Altari music and Vasher war chants, igniting enthusiasm among onlookers. Finally, it was time for the culminating act, their union. In front of a gathering crowd, they gracefully stepped forward, each taking their position. The Altari tradition held that the union could only be strengthened when the partners held each other's hands while voicing their intentions. "Together, we celebrate our love," Jack declared, glancing from Theodore to Charlotte. "It transcends boundaries, cultures, and our very essence." The world seemed to hold its breath as they intertwined their hands, each heart racing with the weight of the moment. "The bond we forged today is beyond traditional rules," Theodore added, his eyes sparkling. "We hope to invite acceptance, redefining what love means across races." Charlotte's fierce gaze locked onto the crowd. This connection is a testament to trust and loyalty, forged in understanding and support. At that moment, as their hearts synchronized and energies collided, Jack felt a warmth swell within him. With a deliberate breath, they leaned forward and sealed their union with a kiss, an embodiment of their diverse customs blending into something new and beautiful. Cheers erupted, echoing across the pond as the crowd reacted with a wave of acceptance. Eyes that once held skepticism were now filled with wonder. The tension that had threatened to pull them apart was transformed into celebration. As they parted, Jack felt invigorated not just by their union, but by the acceptance blooming in the atmosphere. His bond with Theodore and Charlotte was now indelibly etched into the heart of Xylaris. Time blurred, and what began as a challenge transformed into a profound celebration of unity. In the days that followed, the festival evolved, encouraging exchanges between their peoples. Cultural appreciation blossomed as families began to share their customs openly, while Jack, Theodore, and Charlotte grew closer than ever. Their journey was just beginning, but Jack finally felt at home. Here, he had discovered a love that transcended basic connections, a powerful bond enriched by the merging of cultures and beliefs. As Jack gazed upon the horizon, he was no longer adrift, but anchored in a breathtaking new life full of adventure, love, and a world where all were celebrated. With Theodore and Charlotte at his side, they were ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. Hand in hand, heart in heart, a trio united by love.